I'm sure you've heard the news. Tensions are rising in the Pacific, and the world is watching closely. Welcome to Important Updates, your trusted source for breaking headlines, global insights, and sharp analysis from around the world. If you are new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that you never miss an update. Pete Hegseth is a conservative TV host and Army veteran, known for his strong views on national security and U.S. military power. He warns that U.S. complacency has let adversaries like China grow stronger, and calls for a tougher, more assertive foreign policy. Hegseth's Pacific Wall is his rallying cry, urging America to draw a line against the rise of Chinese power. The Pacific Wall is Pete Hegseth's metaphor for a robust chain of military power and alliances across the Pacific. It's not a physical wall, but a network of bases, fleets, and surveillance systems designed to contain China's expansion. Hegseth argues that only a visible, united line of defense will deter Beijing's ambitions. The wall would stretch across the Pacific, signaling to China that its military and economic reach has limits. Think of it as a modern fortress, flexible, technological, and built on cooperation with allies. The core idea: deny China easy access to the open Pacific and vital Asian sea lanes. Hegseth sees China's growing navy as a direct threat to regional stability. The Pacific Wall is his answer, a barrier so strong that China would hesitate to challenge it. It draws inspiration from historical defensive lines, but relies on modern assets and alliances. The wall's strength comes from American hardware, allied geography, and shared political will. It's about drawing a clear line in the water, protected by force if necessary. Hegseth wants to move U.S. policy from engagement to active containment. He argues that decades of trying to integrate China have failed. Now, he says, it's time for a new approach, a wall to protect America and its allies from Chinese aggression. The Pacific Wall is both a warning and a declaration of resolve. The Pacific Wall would follow the first island chain, linking Japan, Taiwan, and the Philippines as a defensive arc. Taiwan is the keystone, with the U.S. treating it as a core part of the wall and boosting its defenses. The Philippines anchors the south, controlling key sea lanes and helping close the southern gap. By linking these allies, the wall aims to lock in China's navy and create a barrier it cannot cross. Hegseth sees China as the greatest threat to U.S. security and global order. He points to China's massive military buildup, now the world's largest navy, plus advanced missiles and carriers. Hegseth argues this expansion is about projecting power and pushing the U.S. out of Asia. The Pacific Wall is meant to stop China's ambitions before it's too late. He cites China's militarization of the South China Sea and bullying of neighbors as proof of its disregard for international rules. For Hegseth, protecting Taiwan is crucial. A Chinese takeover would shatter U.S. credibility and give Beijing a dominant Pacific position. By including Taiwan in the wall, Hegseth aims to make invasion too costly for China. The wall is a signal. Chinese expansion will be met with real consequences. Hegseth believes peace is preserved through strength, not indecision. The wall is a proactive investment in deterrence. Better to build it now than fight a catastrophic war later. It's about preserving American leadership and preventing a major conflict. Hegseth's rationale: only a strong, visible deterrent can keep the peace. The Pacific Wall is his answer to the existential challenge from China. The Pacific Wall would be a multi-layered defense system, not a single entity. First, a network of advanced sensors, radar, satellites, drones, sonar, would provide real-time tracking of Chinese naval movements. The goal: complete maritime domain awareness, so no Chinese ship or sub moves undetected. Second, hard power: more U.S. warships, submarines, and aircraft deployed along the first island chain. Ground-based missile systems, anti-ship and air defense would create a deadly no-go zone for Chinese forces. Third, the alliance network: deep cooperation with Japan, the Philippines, and others. Joint exercises, intelligence sharing, and unified command would ensure seamless operations. The wall's strength is as much political as military. Partners must be united in their commitment. In a crisis, the wall would function as an integrated defense: early warning, rapid response, and multi-directional firepower. If China moved on Taiwan, Allied forces would block approaches, target invading fleets, and strike command centers. The aim: make any Chinese attack a strategic failure. The The wall is designed to deter by making the cost of aggression unacceptably high. It's a system built for speed, coordination, and overwhelming force. Hegseth's vision relies on technology, readiness, and allied resolve. The Pacific Wall is about turning deterrence into a visible, credible reality. Many security experts are skeptical of the Pacific Wall. They agree China must be deterred, but question whether a rigid wall is practical in modern warfare. Critics argue that static defenses can be targeted and bypassed by a clever adversary. Some say Hegseth's idea is more political branding than a new strategy. The US already relies on the first island chain. Analysts warn that forcing allies like Japan and the Philippines into a confrontational stance could backfire, given their economic ties to China. There's concern the wall could provoke an arms race, with China responding by ramping up its own military buildup. Instead of deterring conflict, the wall might create a permanent state of high tension. Experts advocate for a more flexible approach, combining military deterrence with diplomacy and economic competition. The Pacific Wall, they argue, oversimplifies a complex challenge. It risks making allies uneasy and could destabilize the region. The debate: is the wall a necessary show of strength or a recipe for escalation? Most analysts call for nuance, not just more hardware. The Pacific Wall faces huge obstacles, starting with cost. Building and maintaining such a vast military network would require massive long-term spending. In an era of budget pressures, convincing Americans to prioritize this over domestic needs would be tough. Diplomatically, the wall depends on full cooperation from allies, who may not want to become frontline states. Hosting more US bases is controversial and could spark domestic opposition in Japan or the Philippines. These countries must balance their security needs with economic ties to China. Forcing them into a rigid alliance could strain or even break partnerships. Militarily, the wall is vulnerable to China's long-range missiles and anti-access strategies. Concentrating US forces in known locations could make them easy targets. Some strategists argue for more mobile, dispersed forces, not a fixed wall. Taiwan's ambiguous status is another risk. Making it a formal part of the wall could provoke China and trigger the very conflict the wall aims to prevent. The diplomatic fallout could isolate the US and endanger Taiwan. The wall's rigidity may be its greatest weakness. Hegseth's vision is bold, but the risks are enormous. The Pacific Wall could create as many problems as it solves. A major fear is that the Pacific Wall could trigger conflict, not prevent it. By institutionalizing confrontation, every incident along the wall risks rapid escalation. A minor clash could spiral into a major war between nuclear powers. The wall removes diplomatic flexibility. Any challenge must be met with force to maintain credibility. This tripwire effect can deter, but also drag nations into unwanted wars. Building the wall would be seen by Beijing as aggression, fueling Chinese nationalism and hardline policies. Instead of caution, China might accelerate its own military buildup, creating a security dilemma. Each side's efforts to feel safer make the other feel threatened, leading to a cycle of tension and arms races. The wall could lock the US and China into a permanent standoff. Hegseth's proposal risks making war more likely, not less. The wall is a powerful symbol, but it could become a dangerous trigger. The challenge: how to deter without provoking. The Pacific Wall walks a fine line between peace and peril. In the end, Hegseth's Pacific Wall is a bold vision for confronting China's rise. It's clear, simple, and calls for peace through strength. The wall is a rallying cry for American resolve and allied unity. But the challenges are immense: cost, diplomacy, and military vulnerability. A static wall could be a tempting target for China's missiles. The wall's confrontational nature risks permanent tension and accidental war. It's more metaphor than blueprint, a way to frame the China debate. The real solution requires a nuanced, multifaceted strategy. Military deterrence must be blended with diplomacy, economics, and technology. A rigid wall is too simple for a complex world. The Pacific Wall is a strategic fantasy, powerful as a symbol, risky as a plan. Containing China demands smarter, more adaptable approaches. Peace in the Pacific will come from alliances, flexibility, and long-term strategy, not just a wall. The challenge is real, but the answer must be more than a metaphor. The future of US-China relations depends on wisdom, not just strength.